Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. So I'm still at the Toronto Film Festival. As of this recording, I'm about halfway through my time here. Lots of films still I have to see. I just got back from Hamnet, y'all, and wow. I have a lot to say about Hamnet in the next video review. But today, I am talking about the newest Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man, from writer-director Rian Johnson. This thing is coming to Netflix in December, I think it's December 12th, and it's opening in limited release in some theaters around the country in November. If you are a Knives Out fan, you have enjoyed the last two, you are going to love this third installment. I had a great time. It played really well for the crowd from the beginning. I would say it's a touch slower than the other two. You know, this is not Glass Onion, which was more like a vacation murder mystery movie. This one takes things back to its roots. It is very gothic, very old-fashioned. It gave me some vibes at times of Rebecca, Alfred Hitchcock's Rebecca. Glenn Close plays a character in this movie who reminded me of Mrs. Danvers, in how she presents herself and what she wears, how she acts. There is absolutely a gothic nature to this one. I was very thrilled to attend the world premiere screening of Wake Up Dead Man. Rian Johnson was there. The entire cast was there. It was pretty exciting. And before the movie started, Rian Johnson said a few words. He said, for this third installment of Knives Out, he was inspired by the works of Edgar Allan Poe for this one. He wanted to emulate a little bit of Edgar Allan Poe in the storytelling structure, in the look of the film, and you really do see that influence all throughout. This is a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it, and again, if you like the other two, you are going to have the greatest time. Now, this is a hard movie to review for all of you. I, of course, will not give away any spoilers of Wake Up Dead Man. I will tell you very little about the story. And there's even some things about the movie I want to share with you, but if I do so, it'll give away certain things, so I have to be careful in this one. I have to be very careful. Josh O'Connor is the lead of this movie. He's not just a member of the ensemble, one of the supporting actors in this. It's very much about his character, about his arc and his journey. Kind of like the Ana de Armas role in the first movie. She was more of a lead in that than a supporting actress. Josh O'Connor is front and center all throughout this film, and he is absolutely the standout in this. He plays a reverend named Judd. He switches churches. He moves away from something that did not go well at his last location, and so he is trying to rebuild his life and start anew at this church. And immediately upon arriving there, he senses something is off here, the behavior of the Monsignor, played by Josh Brolin. And then you also have Glenn Close as Martha. She works at the church. She's kind of in charge of the finances and stuff. She's in the back office, in the dark, working on everything that needs to be done. And then slowly, over the next 20 to 30 minutes, you are introduced to the rest of this incredible ensemble cast. Some of them, have some things to do in the film and the narrative. Some of them don't have a whole lot to do. But boy, it's fun to see all of these people, and they play off well together. You have Kerry Washington in this, you have Andrew Scott, you have Jeffrey Wright, who's, just briefly in this movie, but is a welcome addition. You have Kaylee Spaney from Priscilla, she's good in this. You have Mila Kunis, she plays a cop and has some fun scenes, especially with Daniel Craig, who of course is back as Benoit Blanc, and he is great as always. He is the through line through all of these movies, right? From the first one, Knives Out 2019, Glass Onion 2022, to Wake Up Dead Man 2025. Obviously there are similarities and things to the murder mysteries and the ensemble cast, but really it's what makes this movie so cozy, so enjoyable. Once you get Daniel Craig back in the mix, I didn't know going into this very much outside of the cast. I didn't know much about what the movie was going to be about. I knew it would have religious undertones, would be set at a church, just based on that very brief teaser that came out a few weeks ago. But beyond that, I went into this totally cold, and that is the way to see this movie. The less you know about Wake Up Dead Man, the better. So that's why I'm really going to try not to give away anything here. I'm not going to tell you much, because especially once you get to the final half hour, once you get to the reveal, once you figure out what's been happening, why certain flashbacks have occurred earlier in the narrative, once things start to tie together, you're like, oh, okay. Now I understand why that early scene happened, why there have been a couple of these double crosses. It all makes sense here in the end, even though it is very complex. You have to pay attention. You know, you can't just like put on Wake Up Dead Man at home and, you know, be on your phone, like, you know, just glancing up and down. Like, you have to pay attention in this movie for the last half hour to truly make sense. But once you piece it all together, it is very exciting, and it's like, wow, Rian Johnson was able to put together not just one really dynamite murder mystery film, he has now done it 3 times. You know, I was thinking about my ranking earlier. I'm like, how would I rank this? You know, Knives Out, I very much enjoyed. I really liked that one. And then Glass Onion, I also thought was pretty great. I didn't think it was maybe like as spectacular as almost everybody made it out to be. You know, I've had a day or two to think on this. I think I would put Wake Up Dead Man like at the top. I think because it's a little bit more serious than the other two, it's definitely the scariest of the 3. Not to suggest that Wake Up Dead Man is like a horror film or has like really like terrifying moments, but there is some imagery in Wake Up Dead Man that's really spooky, and like this one shot, I'll just say it has to do with water. That's all I'll say. It has to do with liquid. I'll just say liquid that is like really, really scary. Like I was like, oh gosh. Like I kind of like slunk down in my seat. I was like, oh damn. You know, Rian Johnson has the goods if he ever wants to make a horror film. I think based off of Wake Up Dead Man, I think he can. And I think he would knock it out of the park. Because like early on in the film, there's some imagery, there's like a flashback scene of this really crucial moment with one of the characters' backstories that you see more than once throughout the movie, and it does become very important near the end. And the visualization of this flashback is gorgeous to look at, and it's also spooky and eerie, and you know, I'm like, damn, Rian Johnson, you are bringing the terror into the Knives Out franchise that I didn't think would ever come. I mean, there's nothing scary about Glass Onion. That's a whole different kind of murder mystery. In the first movie, like, there was nothing scary in the first one, right? You know? So, like, this is not the kind of tone I think most audiences will be prepared for when they watch Wake Up Dead Man. But yeah, this is much spookier than the other two, and I love that about it. Really great production design, the use of this church, which is really a character itself in the film. A lot of the narrative takes place in this one building. I mean, there's some stuff like in the woods and outside, and it bounces around. It never feels like suffocating for the viewer, right? Like claustrophobic, you're just like stuck in this church. But a lot of the events of the story take place there, and Rian Johnson utilizes this place, this location with his camera, and gets the most out of it. I mean, the Knives Out movies have not done very well at the Oscars, right? You know, like the first one got some Golden Globe nominations in acting and stuff, but when it comes to the Oscars, it's really just been in screenplay. If I'm not mistaken, Knives Out 2019 got into the Oscars in one category, Best Original Screenplay. And then Glass Onion got one nomination in Best Adapted Screenplay. Because it's a sequel, it features a character from the previous film, so it has to go into adapted. Will Wake Up Dead Man only get in again in adapted screenplay? That is the question, right? I feel like the production design, like of this church, like of that area in this film, I think the production design in this is really spectacular. So I feel like that could be an option. The cinematography is really gorgeous. I don't think the cinematography could get nominated. That would surprise me, even though, again, some of these flashback moments like are just simply breathtaking to look at. There's some really good camera shots in this. We have the new Oscar category, Best Casting. You know, ever since I heard about this, that I knew like this was the first year Best Casting was happening, I assumed Wake Up Dead Man could possibly get in there. And now having seen the movie, like, I feel pretty confident, like, it's definitely going to be a contender, right? I mean, it does get tricky, right? Because are we nominating, like, the greatest ensembles, like, the biggest casts? I mean, if it's that, then of course Wake Up Dead Man gets in. I think the problem with the casting, if there is one, is, as I said earlier in this review, not everybody here gets something really exciting to do. You know, this is really Josh O'Connor's movie. You know, if he were to like get a nomination for this somewhere, it has to be in Best Actor. not Best Supporting Actor. Daniel Craig, I would suggest, is a supporting actor in Wake Up Dead Man. He's not in very much of the film in the first hour or so. Like, this is Josh O'Connor's story through and through. So I feel like he would be up for Best Actor. That's not going to happen. Like, no one's going to get into like a lead category for Knives Out, like a Knives Out movie. That would surprise me. So whatever happens with Josh O'Connor, I am pleased to report he is turning into one of the most exciting actors. Like, of his age group, he is one of the best, and he's very exciting. He takes chances. He never gives you just the obvious, right? He tries something new with every role, with every film, and he had to have a lot of presence to lead Wake Up Dead Man. This role couldn't have just gone to anybody. Like, this had to be someone with presence, with like something that you're intrigued by right from the get-go. And his character, it's already very well written on the page, and he gets a tremendous arc, a lot to do in this narrative. And Rian Johnson and company, they were very smart to cast Josh O'Connor. He is excellent in this. He gets to play all kinds of shades. He's very funny at times. There are at least like 4 or 5 huge laughs from him in this movie. And he's also very dramatic at times. There are moments that show his physical strength. Like, he gets a lot to do in this film. So if you are a fan of Josh O'Connor, you are in for a treat. If there's someone like who could be floated in supporting actor for this movie, it would be Josh Brolin. He is the biggest standout, like, of the supporting actors, like the men in this. You know, Andrew Scott has a wonderful role in this as a writer. He's very funny, but he's only in the movie just a short amount. He doesn't get a whole lot to do. Same with Jeremy Renner. His character has a bit more of an arc in the film, you know, but like, he also doesn't get like a ton to do. Josh Brolin is the standout of the men who aren't in like the entire movie. He is hilarious earlier on. You know, I've always been a fan of his. Like, when he gets the right role in the right movie, Josh Brolin can be a riot, you know, whether it's a comedy or a drama or whatever. He has a different look here. Like, he has a beard, and it doesn't even look like him at first. I didn't recognize him. I was like watching the movie for a good minute. I was like, who is that? Oh, Josh Brolin. Like, you don't recognize him at first, but he's got that voice, right? That voice is like, it's so memorable. And so I really liked him in this. And yeah, Best Supporting Actress. It's time to talk about Glenn Close, everyone. I'm not going to say much. All I'm going to say, if you are a Glenn Close fan, if you are looking forward to her performance in Wake Up Dead Man, she has a scene. A scene, y'all, that took my breath away. And I'll just say this, right? Ingrid Bergman, Murder on the Orient Express, 1974. She's got one great scene in that movie. She won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Glenn Close has the scene she needs in Wake Up Dead Man. That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't know what's going to happen there. Best Supporting Actress is kind of up for grabs right now. It's all over the place. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But all I'm just going to say, I am crossing my fingers. So yeah, I'm very happy to report I had a great time at Wake Up Dead Man. If you are a fan of the first two, there is nothing in this movie that would suggest you won't like it, you know, or it will be like your least favorite of the three. Like, it is very well plotted, you know, very well cast and paced. Like, there's, you know, maybe in the first hour, there's like a couple lulls, you know, there were a couple moments that I wasn't fully engaged in what was happening, and I was disappointed that some of the cast doesn't get a whole lot to do. I would say Kerry Washington the most. Like, she's always like there in the room with every other character, and I kept asking myself why. I was like, what is her character adding to this narrative outside of being like a potential suspect? I felt like we needed a little bit more from her character. Same thing with Kaylee Spaney. You know, she has a couple good moments, but she also, like Washington, doesn't get a whole lot to do. So not to say that every single character has to have like a huge part in a Knives Out movie, have some tremendous arc. That can't happen unless the movie is going to be like 3 hours long, right? But because you have such a talented ensemble, I wish Rian Johnson could have given a few of them a bit more to do, especially in the middle hour of it, instead of just sitting in dark rooms with the cast and looking around, confused or intrigued. There's a lot of that going around, and I was like, I'm so happy, Rian Johnson, you gave Josh O'Connor so much to do in this narrative, but you also could have given some of these other cast members a bit more to do as well. So I can't give this movie like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. It's not going to be in my top 10 list of the year. I didn't think that was ever going to happen with a Knives Out movie. To be perfectly honest, like the murder mystery genre is not my favorite. Like it never has been. I enjoy a good murder mystery, trying to figure out who killed who and whatever. And boy, let me tell you, with Wake Up Dead Man, you will not be able to guess, like the killer, like the motivation. When it finally happens in the final half hour, I was like, oh, okay. Like, never in a million years I would have guessed that. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, Rian Johnson, he doesn't give you the predictable, right? Like, he's going to throw something out of left field, and you have to find your balance and trust that he knows what he's doing. Rian Johnson knows what he's doing with these Knives Out movies, and I really hope this isn't the end. I hope we have more of these to come. I think there will be. This third installment is so strong in a variety of ways. It would feel weird to me if it ended here. Like, I won't give away the ending, of course, but there's nothing at the very, very end of Wake Up Dead Man to suggest this series of films is over. It doesn't open up the possibility of a fourth or anything. It feels like there can be 5 more of these and we would all be happy for it. So no matter what happens in the years to come with this franchise, at the very least right now, we have another fantastic Knives Out movie coming your way in a few months' time. I was thrilled to see it at the world premiere, to see that entire cast on the stage, including Glenn Close. When she came out, I might have done this. In the audience, I might have done this. I don't think she saw me. I wasn't too far back, but yeah, that was just really exciting for me as a lifelong Glenn Close fan to see her right there and talk about the movie. The Q&A went on for at least 15 to 20 minutes, and it was really exciting to see everybody, including Daniel Craig himself, who I've never seen in person. So the world premiere of it all was amazing. The movie is fantastic. If you are a Knives Out fan, you are in for a treat come November, December. I give Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, an 8 out of 10.